Just the right crunch to silence the Sunday scaries.
Hey, Mr. J Ultra. Just doing a random, not planned, just sit down and wanted to draw. I got to work on some pages, but I wanted to do some sketching first. Dude, that's awesome. You can identify that music. That's the soundtrack. That's the score I'm listening to on YouTube, but no, I'm not watching it. That's awesome, Mr. D Man. You know that music. Yeah, I've heard about that Starman comic. Um, but that movie though, when John Carpenter was making really good, unique stuff. Hey, someone sane. Ran Inc. TV. Greetings. What's everyone up to tonight? Getting a break from work. Ran Inc. D-Man drawing Alpha Flight. Alpha Flight. Who wants to draw Canadian characters? Oh, wait. Someone saying was falling asleep watching random videos. Been there a bunch of times. For any of you comic reading guys out there, did I read a headline right that Todd McFarlane announced 10 new Spawn titles? Did I see that headline right, or am I just losing my mind? Because I kind of don't even want to read one, and I can't imagine he's got an audience to put out 10 new titles. Daniel Goodwin, what is up, sir? Yeah, McFarlane has all those alternate Spawn characters, but is that enough to like fuel that many titles? Like, I appreciate his enthusiasm for it, but I know my opinion is kind of biased because I just can't get into Spawn anything. Mr. J, Fables 160 came out. I've read the first few collections of that Fable series, and I thought it was really interesting. I actually didn't know it was still going. Yeah, I always heard the cartoon was good. That's what everyone always said. And I never had access to cable or whatever when it was on, and now just too much time has passed, and I just don't care. So someone saying says for when he just looked up Salmon Twitch, Deadly Tales of Gunslinger, Misery, Focus, Medieval Spawn, Violator, Dark Ages, Rat City, No Home Here, Spawn kills every Spawn. What the hell? What in the hell is all that? That is some wild craziness he's going to do there. I think, like anything else, with McFarlane, he'll have a good push at the start, and each issue one will probably sell relatively well. You know, considering the current comics industry, but are any of them going to be anything Worth a piss? I don't know. For me, it all comes down to the artist drawing it, honestly. I mean, even if it's a concept I don't care about, if it's an artist I'm really into, I'll give it a shot. I'll pick it up and see. Ran Inc., what is Rat City supposed to be like? What's the premise behind that one? Iron Man kind of suit? Damn. Yeah, I don't mind the title Rat City. It's kind of, in all the Spawn title, that's the one that stands out as the most like unique sounding. But hey, good for McFarlane for trying, putting something out there. He's for whatever his logic behind it is. There's got to be some kind of plan to. I know he's trying to push his new Spawn movie, which the chance of that being anything good is it's never zero, but it's pretty slim. Never tell me the odds. Well said. Hey, for you comic reading guys, comic loving, if you could have one artist who's alive right now come back and draw any comic that you could choose, what would it be? Like, for example, I would just die if Jim Lee come back and drew the X-Men again. It sounds stupid, but his artwork, I don't care for his artwork drawing DC characters. And I know that sounds stupid, but then he'll go and do his live streams or do commissions or whatever and draw X-Men. And to me, suddenly it just comes alive again. Or I'd just love to see J. Scott Campbell come back and draw Danger Girl again. Something like that. If you could have any artist who's out there right now draw anything, what would you want? Jack Cole drawing my characters. Daniel Goodwin. Sam Keith doing a Spiral Mojo story. Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, good call, man.
Since safety is always top of mind for us, having Rangers as a partner can make it very easy for us to keep our events safe. Being able to have these
Rand Inc., you don't want to see Jamie. I like Jamie Foxx. I think when his ego is kind of put aside, can be a damn good actor. But I agree with the idea of needing to see some new faces, but you need some kind of draw, I would think. I can kind of see both sides. But yeah, Sam Keith. Well, Sam Keith on anything. Does he even draw anything anymore? What the hell ever happened to Sam Keith? His Max was too weird for me. I appreciated it, but I didn't get it. It wasn't for me. But I could stare at his original artwork for hours on end. Simon Bisley painting Spawn. There you go. All solid ideas. Yeah, Jim Lee doing another Marvel run, bring the edgy back to Marvel. Yeah, I have unabashedly have a soft spot for Jim Lee, and I always will. But I don't care if he's drawing the Suicide Squad or Harley Quinn or Batman. I don't give a shit. I'd put McFarlane on a Spider-Man run. I know that's just me reliving childhood, and it's kind of stupid. But hell, even just have McFarlane draw, not just write or produce or whatever, but draw a Spawn Spider-Man. That would be the biggest selling comic of the year instantly. Oh, Mr. D-Man, aren't you just a clever sumbitch? That's pretty funny, though. Wiley J draws, man, you are speaking serious truths right there, sir. It's just the truth, man. Bob, how? I don't know what you're saying there, but hey, how you doing? Campbell doing a comic about the Pirates of Darkwater. I know I've heard about Pirates of Darkwater. What is that? Like, explain that to somebody who doesn't know what it is. I've heard of it, but I don't have any understanding of what it is. Kaylin Collins. Hey, well, hello. Welcome. You say you're new to the channel. You're in a room here full of a bunch of old long timers for the channel, so that's awesome to have a new person. Mr. D Man, you're just glad all the shitty woke comics don't sell. I mean, yeah. Ran Inc., Eric Larson going back to the old school Savage Dragon style. I kind of agree. I do miss Savage Dragon when it was really good. I know I've said that a lot if anyone's watching my channel consistently. But it's my favorite superhero run because I got to witness it kind of firsthand. Pirates of underrated cartoon. Okay, that I thought it was. I had an idea that it was like a cartoon or something like that. I wouldn't mind seeing Travis Charest do any damn thing. He's one of those artists where I just want to see his art in anything. Like, you name it, just do it. I've always talked about how Mark Silvestri is one of my favorite artists, but I can't think of if I could put him on anything. What would I want to see him do? This is PG-13. You talking about the artwork? It's just a figure. I mean, if I added a line across her hips there, so she's got pants on, suddenly it's not.
At Smith's, we know you like to save. That's why you get the same great deals online that you find in store. So whether you shop pickup or delivery, you know you're saving big.
Someone saying, I'm reading your little description about that Pirates of Darkwater. That premise actually sounds interesting. I don't know anything about it, but you saying that right there. Yeah. And then Wiley Draws, I know I'm a big DC fan, but check out the JLA reboot from '87. Who's doing the writing and drawing on that, Wiley? I figured, Dan the man, you were kidding. At least I hoped you were. Ranning, yeah, I collected Darkness for a long time, mainly just for Silvestri's artwork. You know, upon reflection, it was never really that great. It was, I guess, it was okay. I think the Darkness is a premise that, I don't know, it feels kind of limited. I don't know how you can do a long running comic series with that premise, because you would think that power set would lead to very short lives with somebody. I don't know. But yeah, I'll be looking at the Darkness eventually. I've got them sitting out here. I've been just kind of passing them up every time that I decide to do a video on something. Keith Giffen, Kevin McGuire, Adam Hughes. Adam Hughes has always been one of my favorite artists, though I don't think his art style in that era was quite the one that grabbed my attention quite as much as it did in later years. But yeah, I'll have to seek that out. Yeah, we'll have to see if I can find that JLA run that you're talking about. I think I've taken this reference sketch, this warm-up sketch that I'm doing here, about as far as I can go. There's the reference I'm using in case anyone gives a crap. But that's what I was drawing here. Yeah, Ran Inc. Giffen died just recently. I've actually got the Lobo, 4-issue miniseries or whatever that he did. One of the viewers of the channel actually sent it to me. I've been trying to find the time to get through the books, and then that'll be coming up on the channel. It's a very interesting comic from what I've been reading about it, but it's not quite my favorite thing, but I can see why people responded to it. How about a Jay Lee Namor era Venom book? Oh, well, if you put Jay Lee back to drawing the way that he used to, I would get almost anything. Da Derpster Dino, Ayo, welcome. But yeah, Daniel Goodwin, that's a good idea. Jay Lee doing a Venom book, drawing that satanic old school style that he used to do. Man, that Venom, I think you're right. Venom would be a great fit for him. Yeah, you convinced me on that. You got a lot of good ideas there, Dan Goodwin. I like all of your ideas so far. Tony, hey, says, hey, Robert, new to your channel. Hey, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Oh, Mr. J Ultra. You want to see what a Silvestri Spider-Man would look like? Has Silvestri ever drawn Spider-Man? I'm sure he's done like pinups or a cover, but has he ever done a book with him in it at all? That's a good question. Tony, you say you think my comic reviews are awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sometimes if I think about, the fact I'm yapping on about comics and people are listening to me, I'd probably get too embarrassed and just stop. So I just do it and kind of not think about it and just throw them up there and hope it works out. Hey, I've got enough of you on here. Some of you guys have been around for a minute. Some of you, you know what? I teased something. Was it yesterday? I just have to find it. Son of a bitch. So I'm really unprepared. I'm really trying to find this thing to show. Now I misplaced it. Oh my god. This is so stupid. Where the hell? Sorry, I'm missing everything. Ghostbusters 2 is an underrated gem. You know what? It's not as good as the first one, but nothing will ever be as good as the first one. But there's some character moments in there that are absolutely perfect. And I am going nuts that I cannot find this thing that I want to show. I don't want to throw out this big option that I've got in front of me without having the thing to show. God damn, what the fuck? Well, now I'm pissed. I'm just going to look it up right here. For you old timer guys that have been, comics from back in the day. Who recognizes this piece of artwork, and who can name the artist? Without reading the name that's right there on the screen, because I'm stupid that way. But that's not the point. But I have the option, the possibility of interviewing the artist who drew this book from like the mid 90s. And that's one of the coolest pictures of Ripclaw from Top Cow Comics ever done. Jordan Raskin is his name. Yep, that's Ripclaw, but it's not Silvestri. Artist is Jordan Raskin. I just remember this book coming out. I've got a video on it. I'm going to be putting it up here sometime this week. But I kind of reached out to the artist and asked him if he'd be interested in doing an interview with me, and that's definitely a possibility, which is a big deal for me. Well, see, I don't think this Jordan Raskin did much beyond this. I'm not really for sure. This was like the one big thing. There's like this Ripclaw special, this one-off that he did. And I can't get over how much I love this cover. But there's the possibility of me interviewing like a professional artist that worked on a 90s era Image Comics. So for me, it's kind of a big deal. Because who the hell am I? I'm nobody.
Etsy has dazzling home decor for bakers. Etsy has home. Shop.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it pans out the way that I think it will. If you think about it, Ripclaw is just a Native American Wolverine. I mean, that's true. Tony's saying that would be I think so, because the artist he got out of comics and went to do like storyboarding and stuff like that. And I think that there's people who will remember the book and his name, but he didn't have, I mean, I think he could have had a bigger career if he chose to stick it out, but I think he was saying that, he's got to make money, and making money in comics, especially in that era, past a certain point, got to be difficult. So he went off to go, find more lucrative artistic opportunities, and he did. So, but I think it would be fun to, I don't know that he's got any interviews out there, and, there's those of us who would remember that. So I'm kind of excited for the possibility. So I just thought I'd mention it on here. It's not in stone yet, but I feel like the way the conversation's going, we will see it. Dan, I know. I'm going to tell her you said that. She'll be so proud. She'll be so happy. And then there's another artist, another inker for Wildstorm. Kind of I hate to say the words, a lesser known inker, implying he's, not, I don't want to underplay what he did. It's a name I'm only vaguely familiar with. I don't want to announce anything about this one, but there's an inker for Wildstorm who I asked if I could do an interview with him, and he said, anytime, hit me up. So I'm like, oh, damn. So I've got to dig into that a little bit. And then I get nervous because I'm like, now I have to ask people questions and not sound like a complete moron. But I want to, the artist in me wants to ask them artistic questions. How did you draw? When did you learn how to draw? What were your influence? How long have you been drawing for? How did you get hooked up with the studio? You know, I'm trying to think of things that I want to ask, but will be interesting for other people. Thanks, Mr. D Man and Tony. I never realized just how much inkers contribute to the quality of art. Yeah, it's so true. Like if you don't know, you know, you might not think that it's a big deal, but it completely can change the vibe of a guy's art. While I'm thinking about it, Dan, good one. Hey man, we should do a interview thing if you're interested in that. I think that'd be fun to chat live and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that book that we just did a video on of your work. I'd be interested to hear kind of like your thought process and your artistic kind of approach to everything. If you're interested, man, let's do that. If that is intriguing to you in any way. Mr. J, can you imagine? Oh man, if Liefeld heard of me, he'd look me up and then he'd go on his social media and tell him I'm a jealous loser and block me and go on a mad rant and my life would be complete. And yeah, Tony used to think all they did was go over the pencils exactly as they were. I mean, it makes sense, yeah, if you kind of don't know, but then when you see, like, especially with social media access today, to see the inkers doing the work and see how they do it and how much, you know, quality and control and skill there is involved, it's quite the thing. Okay, Daniel, I see ya. We'll chat about that. That's if that's something you're interested in, I think that'd be awesome. Jessica Kana, OMG. I hope we're not shocking you with something here. But yeah, Tony, inkers, they're a big deal. One of my favorite videos out there to watch, I revisit often, is the Jonathan Galapian, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He inks Greg Capullo a lot. There's several videos of him out there inking, and he does this one where he's inking this big owl, like a splash page of an owl from the Court of Owls storyline, and just looking at the way he like renders these feathers and everything like that, it doesn't take him long, but it looks amazing. It's fun watching guys do inks as I sit here do it, and I'm like, this I shouldn't be talking about inking while I'm doing it, because Jace Beast highlights. How do I draw so good? I bet you'll be the best one. I mean, I'll never be the best. I just like to do it, and I've been doing it forever. And I think the biggest thing an artist needs to do is what I had to do is just kind of, we have to commit yourself to it. You have to want to do it, and then just start making work. You know, if you want to draw comics, just make comic books. Have a body of work, even if you're not the best artist technically. If you have a body of work to show somebody, you're already steps ahead of so many others who talk a big game about what they're going to do. Oh, you think Galapian inked Turner, Michael Turner? I didn't know that. That's interesting. I I don't know about that. I'm not saying you're wrong. Because I followed Michael Turner's career almost all the way through to his unfortunate death. I know that there was that inker D-Tron that was on him on Witchblade, and then he had Joe Weems inking him for a long stretch, and then he eventually got to a part where he just went all pencils. He just forego inkers completely and was just doing straight pencils, which it wasn't as interesting to me. But now you got me wondering. I'll have to go look that up.
I know what it's like to perform through pain. If you can one of the millions suffering from pain.
I think Weems was mostly a Silvestri guy. That's one of my favorite versions of Silvestri, is inked by Joe Weems. But I know that Weems did some work with Turner on Fathom. I think Joseph Weems has got such a sharp, crisp, crazy good style. I think he's one of my favorites. I'm still thinking about the possibility of a Rob Liefeld interview that one of you was saying. I think Mr. J. Oh man, that's so funny to even think about. Part of me legitimately would actually like to, but he's such an insufferable dick online. I kind of can't stand him. I don't know if I could keep my composure professionally. Adam Warren, I've seen a little bit of his work, and I've liked everything I've seen. He's got a really kind of neat, clean, slick style. The two Robs. Between two Robs. Daniel Goodwin. I get that reference. That's that's so funny. If offered, would I let Liefeld do a pinup for your Masters of the Universe book? I mean, I'd be completely stupid in terms of. I mean, I can't. I'm not. It's just a underground, under the table, like hush hush thing anyway. So it's not like I couldn't. I mean, I get your point. If this was something that I could sell, in terms of just putting eyes on it, I'd be stupid to not. But since I can't sell this thing, it's just under the table anyway, I'd tell him to go fucking suck a dick until he's blue in the face. Tony. You'd love to see a Liefeld interview where you don't bring up Deadpool once. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Like, even if Liefeld tries to bring it up, you just like ignore it and just move on and talk about his, I don't know, his stupid Captain America run or something, or his Teen Titans bullshit. Because he's so proud of Deadpool, which, I mean, I guess he should be. But man, you're not kidding. That's super funny. Master of the Universe would be perfect for Liefeld. I mean, in a way, but I'd be okay with Liefeld. I know I've said this. I like his older work, and so that's all I want to see. I want to see him draw in his older style. He just doesn't. So he used to ink not using the technical pens like I'm using here, so ironically, but he used to just ink with the Hunt 102, and I'm not joking when I say when I go through those old X-Force issues, I still like them. I'll look up the black and white artwork and I'm like, even with all the flaws, there's something in there that I just really like. But then anything he does today, I can't stand it. It's just the worst. But if he wasn't such a insufferable knob, it would be different. Right? Because let's show a quick example right here of how Liefeld draws a guy holding a sword. So like he'll have an arm coming forward. Say you've got a head, right? You got a head right here. Gritting his teeth. So we got to have angry face, and he'll have the mouth open. And then he'll have a hand coming forward. But then he'll draw the fist like this. But then he'll have the sword coming straight out of it like this. And then he'll put that stupid Shatterstar handle. And he'll put the spikes on it. But he'll have the sword coming straight out of it like this when the fist is straight on. He can't turn the hand to make it look like it's grasping the hilt that would be on this thing. I mean, I could come up with 1,000 examples of him doing this exact thing. And he doesn't give a flying fuck. So... which awful Prophet cover, J Ultra? Which one? There's so many. I'm curious on that one. But yeah, I liked him back in the day. I think we all did, right? I mean, his sales, no matter what anyone wants to say about him, myself included, his sales speak for themselves. Everyone was buying up that stuff. Yeah, Tony, you're right. It looked achievable, right? It looked like I can do that. I can do exactly what he's doing right there. I can see what he's doing. I would look at McFarlane's artwork and be like, there's no way. I don't even know where to start. But Liefeld's looked like I can do that. And then it turns out, no, you can't, because again, as much as we bash on his styles, that energy and the vibe that he brings, he has something. I have to think about that. You know what? If only I had a device in front of me where I could look up what Prophet number 1 looked like. I can't remember. Stupid sounds. Is this the one you're talking about, Mr. J? That thing? Yep. Yep, we all know that one, right? Tony, you still watch that video where he and McFarlane create Overkill? That with the Stan Lee thing, right? That video where they kind of draw him. Wasn't Jim Lee there too, or was there a different one? Yeah, someone saying I agree with what you're saying. You don't care how much I like some, you'll crap on it all day where it's warranted. Yeah, I get that. But there's sometimes where there's artists where I know they're doing something that's not good or right technically, but I can't crap on it because it's. I guess everything doesn't have to be technically flawless. I mean, technically flawless would be profoundly boring, right? I mean, if Kirby was technically flawless, he wouldn't have the energy that he does. So, I don't know. Stan, oh God, you guys getting ahead of me here. I'll take Leifeld over Greg Land's artwork. Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Stan the man who's doggy on them, I remember. Julie, thank you if you're talking about my stuff we're looking at here. Greg Land reference porn mags, yeah. Yeah, that Greg Land. Is he even still drawing? What the hell ever happened to him? I think his biggest downfall was that he'd repeat the same face, like literally the same traced face. And then we could all see it and be like, dude, come on. You're tracing the same face. Yeah. All these artists that used to draw comics and now they just draw covers because it's a sweet gig. I'm looking at you, Travis Charest, J. Scott Campbell. Frank Cho's one of those guys that's been drawing comics and always likes to draw comics. I respect that guy. He's always putting out something, and he knows where his bread is buttered. He knows what people want to see from him. Mr. J, seriously? A Mac company sued Marvel? Are you seriously? Man, that would be amazing if that's true. Can you imagine some porn magazine is like, hey, those are our hot babes on the cover of your magazines. What's up? I don't know how they'd prove that. Dan, I kind of agree with you, hating on variant covers. I hate having a really good artist draw the cover, and then I want that to be the guy that drew the interiors, and then it's not them at all. So I have to kind of, Adam Hughes is probably my most favorite artist ever, but that's kind of all. That's not all he does, but everyone hires him to draw covers. It's like, I want him to draw the insides. It's true, it was all Greg Land. Yeah. Tony, I'll have to. Do you have your artwork out there somewhere that I can see later on? I assume you're saying your problem. You say my problem is a quality of line in my inking. Always striving for better fluidity. Yeah, I get that. I'd like to see your work if you got it on Instagram or something like that. Rannick, Bart Sears. Oh, did you see my video on that I did months and months ago on that ridiculous, whatever, that Brute and Babe comic series where I just ranted and raved about how god awful it was? Oh man. Dan, yes, the interior dude deserves the cover. I tend to agree with you. I think you're exactly right. If you draw the book, you should get your damn work on the cover. But then again, they're like, yeah, but J. Scott Campbell wants to draw the cover, and he will sell books for sure. I don't agree with it, but I get it. And the weirdos try to cancel J. Scott Campbell for making Mary Jane too sexy. That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Mary Jane's always been attractive. Yeah. Only the incels. I agree. Involuntary celibate. Yeah, I don't think J. Scott Campbell gives no shit at all. I would think. Well, I want to look you up, Tony. I mean, if you don't mind. I mean, I get it. It's always kind of, it's kind of hard to put your work out there. I get it. Believe me. Mr. J Ultra, you know what? That's 100% truth. I should make that like the tagline of my channel here. If you love comics, you gotta love hot babes. It's just the truth. But who wants to? Frank Miller said it one time in some interview. Who wants to watch or read a story about superhumans saving the world that look just like us? I don't. Hey Tony, what's the name of your Instagram, if you don't mind me asking publicly? Mr. J Ultra, a comedic obese hero who tries his best. I mean, you're right. Yeah, for everything there's like, um, I don't want to see this, but then someone does a spin on it and it would work perfectly. Could absolutely work. Okay, well, Tony, I've just looked up your page here. Is this correct right here? Because you're very humble, sir. You got some amazing work here, man. I am not just saying. I'm looking at that. That is awesome. I love that so much. Like, that's awesome, brother. Holy crap. I'm just flipping through it. Yeah. Oh, damn. So you've got that like J. Scott Campbell thing. I hope that's not an insult. I mean that in the best possible way, where you can like draw caricatures that look like somebody, but it's expanded into like a cartoony vibe. Love that. Like, I've never ever been able to do that. Miyagi, man who catch fly with chopstick, accomplish anything. Hell yeah. Um, damn. Gorlami. I'll be your Huckleberry. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna hit that old follow button. There you go. Damn. That's some really good work. Thank you for throwing that out there, man. That's, yeah, it looks fantastic. Oh, you know what? Um, I love that those War of the Worlds, those spaceships. Those were some scary ass ships. Like, that thing creeped me out. Anyway, very awesome. Thank you for letting me look that up. Yeah, I've seen those. Mark talking about J. Scott Campbell. I mean, J. Scott Campbell doing like his caricature kind of styles of almost anybody. Do you ever see those? He did like a whole series of faces of like the actors from Lost. All right, we got a loser in the channel right now, Mr. John Norton, my brother. Everyone throw some shade his way. Son of a bitch. Just kidding. I wondered why when you were ever going to join in, John, you son of a bitch. Pooh. Yeah, John. There's Dan Goodwin. He's the one that I got those books in the mail today for him. So again, Dan, I know I already said this, but thank you for picking those up. Ed, what collaboration are you referring to? Yeah, John, I've been meaning to bring that up. You should. I know you got like a 1-year-old baby and whatever, a wife and a family and all that shit, but doing a live drawing thing like I've done with Jessica, you got to get on here and do that. And also, John, if you're still listening, I think it was Mr. D-Man on here that suggested that we do the Masters of the Universe movie commentary. I am still 100% on board with that idea. You're not. This son of a bitch. Vertical manatee. I don't know what kind of name that is, but I love it. See, John, we should do a live drawing one of these times, like I've done with Jessica a whole bunch of times. Yeah, Mr. D-Man, you watch it when we ripped up that death mate? Yeah, we had a good time ripping that book up because, well, vertical manatee. I mean, I don't know about that. 7 million subscribers. That'd be nice because then I could be making a living off doing this social media bullcrap, and I wouldn't have to work at my job that I don't care for too much. Vertical manatee. I mean, thank you. You're very kind to say that. I do my best. I sketched this out for 20 minutes before we started. But yeah, Mark, for anyone who, for those of you who, you long timers, me and Jessica were talking. I think was it last night? John, you son of a bitch. Anyway, my longtime live partner Jessica has a box of theoretical comics in her overhead, in her garage that was left there by the previous owners, and we're going to do a live video unboxing of that box of comics. So it'll either be extremely interesting or like the stupidest thing we've ever seen, but either way, it'll be entertaining for all of us. Yeah, John, you're a jerk. But yeah, so for those of you who are going to be around, yeah. But Jessica already sent me a picture of the crate in the overhead in her garage. For those of you who are kind of, been listening to what we're talking about. Mystery crates, not hers, it's the owners of the house that just left it there and they live out of state. And she's like, there's supposed to be comics in there. And I'm just like, well, get it down. I want to know what's in there. And so I think somebody suggested, I don't know who it was, that she pull it down and we do like a live, our next live on Thursday will be, her getting it down and opening it up on the channel. And again, it may be nothing, but if there's some comics in there, could be fun. Could be lame as hell, but we'll all have a good laugh. In fact, I need to put up like an announcement so people can kind of be aware of it. What's in the box? I'm telling you, we were joking that maybe there's a severed head, could be a plague. It's hard to say. I got I'm like my money's on like there's a box of pornography up there. And I would just die laughing if that actually turns out to be the case and she opens it live. But I told her to have her husband walk up the ladder and get it, not her pregnant self, so she doesn't fall and have big problems that I have to answer for. Can't believe my brother called me trash. Oh, someone's saying, perfect. Liefeld's just waiting to tell me off, to tell me I'm a jealous loser. And you won't be entirely incorrect. Well, thank you, Vertical Manatee. You're my new best friend. You will boost me up. I mean, I'm just another voice in a sea of endless comic book artists that are just trying to show their work and get some joy out of it. So I appreciate all your kind words. It is, Mark. It's even blowing me away. My subscriber count has been 5 to 10 a day recently, and it's crazy. I remember when I was first going, like I was shocked when I hit 100 subscribers. So I was like, I'll do like a special video, like celebrating 100 subscribers, and I'll do it every 100. You know, I did one at 200 and then 300. But then it just kept going so fast. I'm like, I can't keep. No one cares. Like, it took off in a way that I is absolutely no way in hell I expected, and it's kind of opened up some possibilities. I've sold more copies of my little fan comic through the YouTube channel than anywhere else, which, I mean, it makes sense because there's a bit of an audience once you get some reach. And I'm legitimately considering, once I get done with the He-Man fan comic, you know, I'm going to do my own thing, and considering what my audience might look like in a year, I might do a Kickstarter to see if I can't fund it or something like that. You know, it's an option in front of me now. Maybe I'll offer something that people would be interested in actually picking up. I don't know. Platinum play button. That'd be weird. My kids, that's the thing, Mark. My kids watch YouTube nonsense all the time, and they know about those buttons. If they saw their daddy get one, they would shit themselves. They think daddy's neat for once because daddy's doing YouTube videos. And I've brought them on once or twice. I haven't uploaded them yet, but I had my boys, my youngest review Rob Liefeld's Captain America #4, and had my older boy review with me Liefeld's Captain America #5. I just wanted to know what these kids thought, because they don't read comics, they don't give a shit. But I was curious as to what they thought looking at it fresh. I'll be honest, it didn't turn out to be that. I mean, it was funny, it was kind of fun, but it wasn't anything like wildly crazy. But my young boy looked at a picture of Liefeld's Red Skull, and he's like, I bet his breath stinks. I'm like, yes, you're right. Well, thanks, Tony. You said my channel oozes positive vibes. I mean, I want that. I know I get on here and I rant about some shit, but I do it kind of in jest and, you know, kind of sarcastically. Mark, every kid wants to be a YouTuber. Yeah, that's my kids. They absolutely do. Back in my day, we all wanted to be astronauts. Now we just wanted to make comics. Um, yeah. Oh, are you talking about this panel, Mark? The sense of scale? Is that if you're talking about this one? Because I'm doing the pages that I'm doing are He-Man and She-Ra and the sorceress Tila. They're all fighting giant monsters. And so, I got He-Man here with a giant monster pummeling him, and then I've got She-Ra fighting this giant monster here, and then I've got the sorceress here. You can't really tell, but these are the eyes and nose of this giant monster made of fire. And so, yeah, they're all fighting giant monsters. And it's something I've never really done before. So every panel that I'm drawing with them fighting giant monsters it's a new challenge. Yeah, you never thought about... yeah, the Red Skull's breath got to stink, right? It smells like death. Vertical Manatee, I don't mean to keep you from homework. That being said, thank you for being here as long as you like to be. You watched a She-Ra cartoon in Portuguese? I'd be like, well, I don't know what they're saying, but I like what I'm hearing. Daniel's right. Do your homework. It's important. I'd like to say this isn't just for fun that I'm doing, but it essentially is. But now that there's potential future prospects, heman in español. Bill Reinhold's Punisher? I don't even know if I know who that is. No relation to Judge Reinhold. That's funny. I don't know about that one myself. I think Punisher is one of those concepts. I think there's such a thing as the premise of a character is good. Like the Punisher, all right? He was a soldier, he comes home, his family gets killed, gang war, whatever. He decides to avenge them, and he's the hero that will kill people. But I don't know that it's the type of concept that lends itself to like an unending series till the end of time. Like Spider-Man is. He's just a hero. He gets the powers, he fights. But the Punisher's concept, he's going to have to die. Like, he'll die eventually, or he'll go insane or become a psychotic madman, which maybe he is anyway. So I don't know how long you can write a series of him just murdering criminals before it drifts off into being something that's not the original concept in the first place. So I bet that's a really challenging thing to do. Yeah, the character's certainly interesting. Um, that's a good point, Mark. On the level. Hey, what's up? Thanks for joining. Boy, it shows I got like 14 people watching. I think that's the most at one time. How's that happen? That's an interesting idea, someone's saying. Yeah, just like I was saying, I don't know. I mean, how many times can you tell the Punisher story over and over the ages where he's like just murdering more criminals and on and on and on? I think the ultimate result of him is he'd end up like a psychotic madman that loses his sense of right and wrong and starts killing off the wrong people because his sense of justice is now warped. He can't even tell right from wrong himself anymore. But that's a good idea. But yeah, that's an interesting idea. Having a different person take up that mantle. That'd be an interesting, like, almost what if book, like what if series. Oh, Vertical Manatee. We thought we had you back, but then you found more homework. On the level. You remember they did a prequel to Punisher? What was that about? A prequel to Punisher? Explain that one. Was it like, Frank Castle before all the horrible shit happened to him kind of thing? He was in Nam. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, Dan. Yeah, thanks for stopping in, Dan. Message me, man. Let's talk about what we were talking before. But again, if I'm a Punisher fan, I don't know. I mean, it depends on the artist, but I don't know if I'd care to like. Let me read the story about Frank Castle in Nam. I mean, I don't know. As a comic, I don't know if that would interest me. I think there's such a thing as just digging too far into a character's backstory too much and over-explaining. I don't need to know too much. Frank Castle was a soldier in Nam. That's all I need to know. But then I think they start taking some of these characters and just start over-explaining their histories. Wolverine is the most prime example of them overdoing it, overcomplicating it. It's like I don't need to know all this stuff about his past. Tony, wasn't that Nick Fury Punisher book supposed to be drawn by Jim Lee? Am I remembering that correctly? I seem to remember there being a lot of talk about that at one point. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think there was still a one that Jim Lee was supposed to do a long time ago. I'm talking like pre X-Men era, I believe. He was probably supposed to do it, and then he got on X-Men and took off like a rocket ship and never came back to planet Earth. I feel like there was a Jim Lee version of that book supposed to be out there. I've heard some people say that Warzone movie was the best, and then some people like you say it's the worst. I never bothered. I thought the Thomas Jane one had potential, but they were too. You can't make a Punisher movie right and make it not R rated, and I think that was their problem. So then I think they overcorrected. I thought the Daredevil Punisher was perfect, actually, like for the most part. Yeah, the War Journal issues with him and Wolverine. I did a video on that. If you're talking about the Punisher Wolverine African saga, it's great. Poke Self, you say you wish you could draw like that. If you're referring to my artwork here, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Just kind of drawing big, ugly monsters here that the warrior babe right here is punching right in the face. Yeah, it's one of my older ones, Tony. It's on there. It's. I did it. I've only been doing the videos for 7 months. I've basically been doing one a day. So it's kind of there's quite a bit to go through, but they're there. Back when I first found out about the Punisher, I liked the idea of just a man with guns in his hand in the Marvel universe and standing his own against him. To me, that was an interesting idea. I mean, in a way, he shouldn't stand up too long against any superpowered person, but the idea that he could, that was really interesting. It made him fascinating. Yeah, there was that scene. If you remember that Netflix show, there was some scene in that season where Castle was like, I think they had him captured. These criminals, Daredevil's getting in there to bust him out somehow, and Castle had a shotgun to the guy's face. And I was like, man, that'd be awesome if Castle pulled the trigger and blew his head off. And then he did. It was just like, boom, shot the guy in the face. I couldn't believe what I saw. I was like, holy shit. The Marvel movies would never do this. And that's a shame. Tony, you like the flow of her cape? It's kind of poofing out there. Yeah, it's a weird thing to try and get, you draw a figure punching, so, you're flexing the arms and twisting the hips, and you got the hair poofing out and the cape flowing. You got all these devices on the figure to kind of indicate motion and movement, and if you're lucky enough, you can do something to make it look right. Which I hope I'm doing. Frank Miller's Batman is a better Punisher as well. That's true. Another controversial, at least these days, controversial creator, Mr. Frank Miller. Some people just move past their prime and never get it back. His artwork these days is just, I don't know what the hell happened. That's a good question, Mark. Is there a definitive Punisher run? I bet you somebody's going to point to the Garth Ennis one with Steve Dillon. At least that would be some people's. I liked it enough. But I don't like Garth Ennis's like ironic sense of humor all the time. It doesn't work for me. Punisher versus Predator, because why not? Dude, you might be onto something right there. I've got the Batman Predator comic out. I was kind of thinking of holding that for like a Halloween video. I mean, because why not? But that was a good one. If anyone read that, by the Kubert brothers. All right, Tony. Hey, thanks for joining in. I appreciate it very much. Hopefully, we see you on some more. Thanks for coming. Predator versus Punisher, for real. I think I read that the next Predator Prey movie is supposed to be set in World War II. Which, sure, why not? I bet I could tell you the plot to that Predator Prey movie. I bet that the Predator shows up and he stumbles across some various assorted tough characters, and one of them stands out, and it comes down to a one-on-one fight, and then the Predator ends up dead. Any bets on whether that's going to be the wrong plot? Mr. Demon, is that what the plot was to that Punisher Archie book? Because I remember hearing about that, and some people thought it was stupid. I thought the concept was funny because the very nature of it makes it ridiculous and funny. But is that how they plotted it out? Because that's funny, actually. Vertical Humanity, The Predator. How can you not know? It started out as a Arnold Schwarzenegger badass action movie in what, 87 I think it was, and it's the best one out of anything they've done so far. And then it's just spawned some sequels and spin-offs that in varying degree of quality. And then they just did one recently in the last year or two called Predator Prey, where it was set hundreds of years ago, where a Native American girl fought and defeated this giant alien creature. But it was not bad. Not great, but not bad. Oh God, Mr. D-Man, you wrote the only Avatar movie I want to watch. Holy shit. Predators versus the Na'vi. Oh God. Man, if the Predators ran across the Na'vi, they'd be like, oh man, perfect. We're gonna go on safari at Thundercat Smurf Island. We're gonna just slaughter the ever-living blue hell out of these guys. Right, Mark? Right? Oh man, I mean, to be fair, I don't mind the Avatar movies. Like visually, that first one in the theater in 3D is the most amazing visual movie I've ever seen. I know the story is nothing interesting, and I like the newer one enough, but You know, I want James Cameron to get back to directing action movies and showing all these idiot directors these days how to make a good action movie. Not again Thundercats Smurf Island, but something else, like when he would make a good action or sci-fi movie like The Abyss or Aliens or Terminator or any damn thing or True Lies. But stop with this damn Navi stuff. That's all he's going to do until the end of time, so we're screwed. But seriously, Mr. Demon, you come up with the greatest ideas, dude, like all the time. Your ideas are just the best. Yeah. I would. Man, I should do a fan comic of that. I should stop this He-Man stuff and just start doing Predators versus the Navi. And I would not be kind to the Navi. It would all be about just the Predators reveling in just slaughtering the hell out of those blue kitty cats. Thank you, Panda Art 101. I appreciate that. On the level, Aliens is a timeless classic. I can watch that movie anytime and enjoy it no matter how many times I've seen it. Over and over and over. It's so good. It still feels like a modern movie. It's better than most modern movies. It is absolutely brilliant. I agree. Yeah, they would take over Pandora in 1 week, right? And they'd be like, man, it's over. The fun is done, but man, what a week. How many blue scalps do you have? Count Chocula. There's nothing to spoil on this page, man. It's just He-Man and She-Ra fighting monsters. You can't be spoiled from this page. Up to this point, I've been basically posting every page that I do in as I complete them. But for the finale of the book, there's a couple of things that I'm not going to post. I don't want to spoil it when that time comes. So I'm going to have to censor myself. I'm gonna say something not you're gonna like, Mr. D Man. I did not hate that one Aliens versus Predator movie. I thought it was that was all right. Not great. It wanted to be great. That director, what's his name? The Resident Evil chucklehead. He tried as good as he could possibly do, I think. And he wanted to be James Cameron really bad. But I didn't hate it. I'll tell you what movie I did hate is Aliens 3. That was a giant slap you in the face to all of us. Count Shock, you were bored to tears, man. I know. It's not for everybody. See, I like David Fincher. I know what I don't like. All right, let me edit. I hated what they did to the characters. The movie itself, even Fincher disavows it because they forced so many changes on him. But how the hell do you have Ripley and Newt go through hell and then they just get, they die in a crash. They're just gone. Hicks deserved better than that. Newt deserved to be, have a life. I don't know. If were I given the opportunity to do a sequel to Aliens, do Aliens 3, what would I have happen? I don't know, but I would not be killing off, because that's what people wanted to see. We wanted to see Hicks and Newt and Ripley again. And they're just like, no, we wanted to get it back to just the one character running in a hard situation. It was so stupid. I hate that. So the movie is well made and atmospheric and cool, but because I hate what they did to the characters so much, I can't get past it and enjoy it, so I don't watch it. It makes me mad. Yeah, and 4 was... That's the one where they resurrected Ripley, right? And at the end, they had some alien-human hybrid, and then it was getting sucked out a hole into space, and it was looking, and we're supposed to be having, like, sad feelings, and I was, like, literally laughing in the theater at how stupid it was. I could not believe what I was watching. And I never watched that one again. I saw it the one time in the theater, and I'm like, I am done. I think I'm over rendering this panel. I think I need to stop. I think it's done. Oh, do. Yeah, D-Man, I saw that. I remember it seemed like for a minute that it was going to be a thing. And if I remember correctly, even Sigourney Weaver was on board with it. But I think it came down to that, if I understand, Neil Blomkamp was going to do it. But then, what's his name? Ridley Scott came along and was like, I want to do this. The whatever the hell, what was that one movie, the prequel, and they're like, oh no, we're going to go with Ridley Scott, not this Neil Blomkamp guy who's done some stuff. Of course you're going to go with Ridley Scott, and then he cluster fucked it up. So too bad for us. Mignola Gibbons Alien comic. I've seen it. I haven't read it. That's another one I'd like to... Prometheus. Thank you. Jesus Christ. I thought Prometheus as a movie on its own with like the effects and like the atmosphere. Ridley Scott can do a movie with atmosphere better than anybody, but it's just kind of a mess, and who cared? What the hell? And then he got that sequel, and then no one cared about that. And then he had a third one he wanted to do, and that tanked. And then, didn't Ridley Scott die? Am I remembering correctly? Which actress? In Prometheus, you talk about Charlize Theron. Is that who you're talking about? I like her, if that's who you're referring to. John Norton, you son of a bitch. Shockingly, you don't like Charlize Theron? I mean, any actress in the wrong role is bad, but I like her in the right role. She's, besides being hot enough, I think she's a good actress. I like her. Not that the Prometheus role was anything. You can't stand her? Did you like her in The Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves where she got all naked and shit? I'm sorry, I'm a simple-minded man. I shouldn't have even brought that up. I'm not against her. I'd like to be, though. Someone sane saying what we're all thinking. Anybody taking bets on how bad the Marvels is going to tank in the theaters? The new Carol Danvers Marvel movie that they spent $270 million on, and it's going to just eat shit worse than Ant-Man Quantumania. Oh, I'm not going to see it either. Yeah, I have zero interest in seeing that movie. I mean, the only way I'd go is if some girl I knew asked me out on a date and she'd be like, I'll blow you in the theater." I'm like, "All right, let's go see the Marvels. You bet your sweet ass. Let's go. I'm buying the popcorn." Like, I got 20, 30 minutes into Quantumania and just turned it off. I'm like, this sucks. And I'm like, maybe I'll get back to it just to see how bad it gets. But I'm just, no, I don't need to finish this. I don't care. You can't bet against me. What did you see in the theater, Count Chocula, that you wanted your money back on? We were talking about the Captain Marvel movie. You talk about that one? Ant-Man. I liked Ant-Man. I liked that it was like a heist story. I liked it was a little bit smaller stakes. No pun intended. I like Paul Rudd. I think he can be funny. I didn't mind it. And the second one, not as good. It had some interesting parts, but they were fine. Oh, the Kang one. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, man. Yeah. I got that. Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. The Quantum Mania bullshit. Yeah. I didn't go see it in the theater, even for free on Disney Plus. I'm like, all right, let's try it, but just nope. But yeah, the first Ant-Man. Yeah, they were fun, and that's the thing. They were fun. Is that so hard to do? I didn't even bother with the Moon Knight. I don't even care. There was no way they were going to sell that to me in any way I gave a crap. I don't have any affinity for the character. I never understood why people liked him so much. I'm not saying you can't, people obviously dig it, but I don't. No, I don't care. The first 3 episodes and quit. Yeah. And the Marvel sounds like a 60s Motown group. Oh my gosh, you're not kidding, man. Like the Platters or something like that, singing them songs, but it's the Marvels. That is a very astute observation. I want to shout out Count Chocula. I've already mentioned this to him, but he did a whole 2 hours flipping through my He-Man comic on his channel a couple of days ago, and I just had a smile ear to ear the entire time. Just having the opportunity for anybody just to look at my stuff and not be sitting there going, "This sucks." It was I had a great time. Jessica joined in, was joining in on that chat. So I know I've already said it, Count Chocula, but thank you. I appreciated that very much. All right, thanks for joining Vertical Manatee. Appreciate it. I know you don't like that Kevin Smith hack. I didn't care for his He-Man show too much. I've said this. I can't help but still kind of like Kevin Smith. I don't know. I think you reach, being in the industry long enough, you're going to do some stuff that's going to piss people off. And everyone's going to say he was better when. But I feel like he's, for the most part, a genuine person. I don't know. I still like him, but I do agree he made some major missteps in the kind of story he decided to tell with his He-Man animated show, and it's almost irreparable damage that he does to his own personal kind of career in a way. Hi, Andres. Jesus, I'm going to just butcher your name. Andres Arellano. I said hi. Yeah, you like old Kevin Smith. I mean, yeah, that too. I mean, they had one of the writers was that Mark Bernardin that shows up on his podcast all the time, and I used to be a fan of that Mark Bernardin, but I'm not so much anymore. I'm not going to say why because it gets into political stuff. He seems like he's just a victim now, and I don't like it, and so I kind of don't like him anymore. Kind of done with him. Some of my favorite things, though, that Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin did were the commentaries. They did commentaries to all the Batman movies. And those I can listen to over and over and over, and they had me laughing out loud. So, again, there's stuff that they do that I like, but I don't like a lot of the current stuff as far as their personal opinions on things. So I don't. Count Chocula, I think you know what I'm talking about. But hey, Airfinity Customs, you're making comics right now as well? Yeah, awesome. Hey, that's what we're here to do. Fat Man on Batman. Yep, that was my favorite version of Kevin Smith's stuff. When it was just the podcast, they bring in all kinds of creatives, like the interview that Kevin Smith does with Grant Morrison. There's like 2 episodes, they're like 2 hours each. There's 4 hours of content of just talking comics and Batman and all kinds of neat stuff. That was some really good stuff. I can listen to that all the time. And the commentaries, like I was saying, where they did the Batman movies, I just love them. They're so funny. They point out stuff about the movies that I didn't notice before, and I'm like, oh, they're right. Now I can't unsee it. So I'm not saying it ruined it. I'm not that guy, but I mean, they have some astute observations. It just sucks that I kind of can't stand him, that Bernardin guy anymore. It sucks. Oh well. He had on the Russo brothers, Chocula? I missed that one. Ran Inc., you like some parts of his He-Man animation? I like the animation completely. I thought there were some action scenes in that show. completely on board with all of that. Totally. Yeah, Triclops where they're worshiping technology. That was fun. Um, his bootleg Batman comic series, Dream of the Bat. Who are we talking? Kevin Smith or Bernardin or who? Um, and someone saying, yeah, where he joined a picket line that was protesting his own movie, Dogma. Seriously, that's one of my favorite stories. And those evenings with Kevin Smith that he did, where he would just get up there and just talk to people. I think that's what really propelled him into big time. Um, I mean, this might sound lame, but his ability to sit there and just casually talk to people and to be funny and charismatic, I kind of think of that whenever I'm like yapping on my channel about a comic. Like, if I can't think about it too much, I just try to like just be natural and just conversational about it. But I try to think about the way Kevin Smith would be like on those evenings with Kevin Smith, where he'd get out there on those college campuses and just talk to people. I thought those were endlessly entertaining. The stories he would tell.
Sometimes it takes a big courage to imagine the future differently. With the Pell University's game-changing FlexPath program,
Oh, Dave Filoni is the poor man's Robert Rodriguez. That's another movie director who I think he's kind of lost his balls. The guy who made Desperado and From Dusk Till Dawn. I like him. I've never heard anything about him that I dislike about him. We're talking about Robert Rodriguez. But again, I think he's gone too far, like making movies with all this computer generated nonsense. I want to see him do an old school action movie like Desperado with Antonio Banderas, who's got guns, blowing the hell out of people, just shooting them to death, and banging hot girls like Salma Hayek. All right, Mr. J, thank you. Yeah, you were the first one in here, man. You've been here a minute. It's gone on a lot longer than I actually intended it to be, but that's how these things usually go anyway, because it's kind of fun. I like talking with all you guys. It's fun. But yeah, Robert Rodriguez, man, he was a badass. And then I remember he directed one of those god awful episodes of the Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett. I think it was the one with like the hipster douchebags on their slow ass scooters zipping through town. And I'm like, Rodriguez directed this? What happened to his nuts? This is the guy that did From Dusk Till Dawn. I mean, he had Sex Machine in that From Dusk Till Dawn, that like gun setup in the guy's pants that he blew away vampires with. That was great. And he just, I don't know what the hell happened. Technology is awesome, but I think it has the effect of making creatives lazy. When you have technology that can just fill in the gaps everywhere, I think you stop trying to search for creative solutions to problems. And that's where interesting art comes from, I think. I think you got to have your head really on straight to use extensive technology in your art and not get lost in the ease of the shit it can do. Messy musicality, please don't crash your car. On the level, Planet Terror, thank you. That's another one. I thought Planet Terror was hilariously awesome. Yeah, I saw that in the theater with the Grindhouse with the Tarantino's movie. One of the best movie going experiences of my life. The audience was into it. We were having a great time. Good stuff. And Count Chuck, you'll take practical effects over CGI any day, 100%. You know, the magic of like Stan Winston Studios and stuff like that. It's kind of frustrating. You want him to go back to doing Spy Kids? Oh man, Mr. D, man, how can we look you in the face? No, I'm just kidding. I saw the first Spy Kids and I thought it was like a cute kids show, but I don't care anymore. Yeah, Grindhouse was good times. And people say that Tarantino's movie in that is his worst one. I guess that's potentially true, but it's the end car chase with those girls in the Challenger and the Charger. And I'm a Charger guy. I own a Dodge Charger, like a modern one, not an old one. But I grew up with Dukes of Hazzard, so that shit is my jam right there. But that end car chase, that's one of the greatest bits of cinema in car chase ever. It's a good idea, Randy. Old school Robert Rodriguez directing a Punisher. That's an idea. Ran Inc., you are so correct. I love the commercials. Don't. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh man. Oh, that was probably, in a way you could argue those were the best parts of those ridiculous bullshit commercials. I like the Thanksgiving. It was like a horror movie, but instead of like Halloween, it's Thanksgiving. And that shit was hilarious. Yeah. Wasn't one of those done by Rob Zombie? Was that like the Nazi one? They did one of them, Machete. Wasn't that one of the commercials in there? Or what Rodriguez did, Machete, and then they made that into like two movies. And again, they were just kind of okay. That's what kind of sucked. He wheeled him into real life. I didn't like them as much as I wanted to. I think they were too long. Yeah. Thanksgiving. Do you remember the part in that Thanksgiving? I think it was the Thanksgiving trailer where the girl was jumping on the trampoline and then the killer stuck the knife up through the trampoline and the girl did the splits and landed right on it. Oh, goodness. Holy shit, it's almost 10 o'clock. Oh, man, I got to get up for work. I got to be up at 5 in the morning. So I think I might need to shut this down for now, fellas. As always, like we were saying, these always tend to go a little bit longer than I ever intend them to do, but it's because it's fun. And I get drawing done that I need to. I got to get these pages pumping out. I got a lot of work to do to get book 6 done. And I will. NATO 6490. I'm just making I've been doing a fan comic based on Masters of the Universe, and I've got several issues done. I'm just working on the latest issue. It's just an underground, unauthorized bullshit fan comic that I'm just being psychotic and deciding I have to do it, even though I can't sell it or anything. But I'm 6 volumes into it, and I'm just gonna finish it. Rannick, you gotta go. You gotta go, parent. Yeah, I get that. Someone saying thank you. Count Chocula, D-Man, all of you guys, appreciate it. You guys are all awesome. You're all the regulars. I appreciate it. So yeah, that's it, guys. I gotta bounce. See you next time, guys. Thanks.